Hello, good morning. Well, it's almost good afternoon. Well, this morning has been full of drama, it's been full of excitement, and it's also been full of unexpected events. Well, we'll start off with a bit of drama, shall we? Well, I had some business to do in Melbourne today. Melbourne, he says? Well, we're all allowed to be a bit lackadaisical. How about Manila? Well, actually, it was Manila. Went in early this morning and we took the use of a GPS to find your way, the maps, Google Maps. We didn't go the way we thought we were going to go, but we went along near Manila Port. And right on one side of the road, you had the port, the cranes, the cargo ships, and the containers. On the other side, you have places like Happy Land, poverty extraordinaire. To say that it was exciting would be an understatement, really. I was intrigued and at the same time quite shocked at the images that I was subjected to as I drove past in a hire car. And it reminded me that that was the main reason, one of the main reasons I was coming down to Manila originally. I didn't get very far when I only did a few hours walk around in Quezon City. But nevertheless, it was the start of a taste of Manila metropolis, we'll say. And today is a public holiday, so for many, not many people on the road. Wondered why the roads were free of traffic. But nevertheless, I did say to the driver on one particular stretch of a motorway, come freeway really, it wasn't a toll road though. I said, just stay behind the truck in front. It was an encouragement to make him slow down a bit. And I'm glad I did encourage him to do that because woe behind. No, anyway, it was a good move because just ahead, literally in front of my eyes and his, there were showers of fairing and plastic and everything all over the place, and then you could see a motorbike on its side in almost looked like in pieces. And I was thinking, my God, where's the person driving it? And of course, I then glanced across to the oncoming traffic, which was divided by a medium strip, which luckily had not a concrete barrier, but plant life between the two. And I thought, oh my God, I can imagine the worst. And that is that I saw a body, initially not moving, but then crawling out from underneath a truck. Literally crawling out on all fours, a little bit dazed, but with his crash helmet on. And what had luckily happened was that the traffic on the other side of the road had come to a halt and therefore wasn't moving because of a set of traffic lights further up the road. If, of course, the traffic had been moving, I think that would have been goodbye to the traffic, uh, the motorcyclist on the road, because he would have ended up under the wheels of one of the vehicles that he collided with. But luckily, he picked himself up. A lot of people rushed to his aid. This all happened within seconds. And we then kept on driving because others were standing by, helping, trying to have jumped out of their vehicles to help the poor guy. But that's one guy that won't be riding back to wherever he's come from because the bike looked like a total wreck. And he's just lucky to be alive. But it left the driver somewhat in shock. And we only had probably another mile and a half to go. But I kept on giving him directions according to the GPS as to where to go. And even when we were only meters away from a left-hand turn, he kept on asking me, where? Left? So yeah, over there, there's the building. And he did understand what I meant, but he was in actual shock, having witnessed firsthand, literally in front of his eyes. And it did leave you somewhat shell-shocked to think that even on a quiet day, such a dreadful accident had happened right in front of us. But it's a reminder, crash helmet, it's a reminder how dangerous traffic can be, even when there's less traffic around. Probably more so because people become less attentive, maybe. But anyway, moving on. I went and had a little while before my appointment came up and went and had a McDonald's meal. Started to bunch into my, like a panda cell meal, but it was egg McMuffin. So I had to have each muffin, break it up into small bits so I could eat it, along with the sausage and the egg. The sausage being really just a sausage burger itself. But very yummy with a bit of hot black coffee. And then, of course, on the way back, I was also becoming the navigator for him and therefore giving him advice as to which turning to make. And we'd already done a U-turn further off on another road to bring us back onto the road we were due to go down, to come back to Ballywag. And lo and behold, we followed the directions of the GPS, paying more attention so that we didn't miss the turning. We missed a sign, a very, very small sign, which clearly did say, no right turn. So what did we do? We did a right turn and got pulled over straight away because in Manila, the place is flooded with traffic enforcers, making very good incomes from unsuspecting people who maybe either break the rules or think that they can break them or accidentally break them. There doesn't seem to be much of a, sorry, I didn't see that. It's a blanket 2,000 peso fine. Oh my goodness. Tells you something very important. When you're traveling to Manila, always have a wallet full of money. Because 2,000 pesos, if you don't have it, they take your driving license and you have to find your way to the nearest barangay where they accept payment, or should I say treasury office, to make the payment. But you can't do it on that day because, of course, they have got your license stashed away with all the other licenses of people who don't have the money to pay. But of course, there's always that favourite one that so many in Asia use, and that is the lure of the occasional, oh, is this yours, sir? And of course, 500 pesos goes a long way for somebody maybe looking for an early morning meal. And the driver was very lucky to have an extra 500 fall on the floor and asked, oh, sir, is that yours? Replied, oh, yes, I think it is. On your way, sir, handing back the driver's license to the unsuspected driver. But it shows you how the Philippines can operate. And I say can, not supposed to operate like that. But unfortunately, being real and being a reality, it's quite often the case. Now, I'm not suggesting that the country is what you might think it is, but we have to be realistic, and that often and does happen all around the world. The only difference is, I suppose, in Australia, if you happen to get in a sticky situation like that yourself with law and order, you could find yourself in a bigger hole if you were to put a $50 or $100 note inside your driving wallet, because it might be seen as the big C, and the big C being, naughty, naughty. So, again, an eye opener for the day. Then, of course, you'll find that you have a wonderful system of motorways, toll roads all around Manila. And if you're not familiar with the turning on and where to come on, you just jump on at your leisure. Most of them have what we would call tags overseas on the window, and you top them up so that the tag is able to deduct the sum of money for that entry and exit point. But of course, if you don't have a tag and you get on at the wrong point, you then have to pay cash. And that can end up with you paying a little bit more than normal. Fortunately, we didn't have to do that. But there are two kinds particularly that I think of coming from Ballywag. One is the toll road system that operates from there. And if you hit onto the Skyway, there's a separate, different organisation running that. Each of them have a sticker on the window, and each of them have a depositing system you can do online. So just remember, travelling comes with a certain amount of financial risk, and one also has to be very conscious of making sure you don't get encouraged by some locals to partake in their new scheme of money making. And that's all I'll say on the matter, except to say, have a wonderful day, and I hope that you're able to enjoy what you have. Oh, and on a final note, I saw my teeth today. I called in at the dentist only to think that I had to go maybe tomorrow or Thursday, only to discover they're already waiting for me to do a test drive, which I actually did today. It felt like putting two great big spoons in my mouth, and I was talking like this thing all over the place. And I thought, oh, is this going to be the new look? They looked okay. They were a little bit on the large side, the gum bits, but apparently they now trim them to fit more accurately the bulk of your mouth. In other words, it's like putting two balloons in your mouth at the start, and they're now going to deflate them and make them more accommodating to the shape of your mouth, which will be interesting because I should be getting them on Friday. So Friday, not Friday, Friday is the day that I will have my new look, hopefully. And I think I've got to pay another 23,500. I think that's the amount. 23, 32. Yes, 23,000. I didn't have to pay the 5,000 today. They've left that for me to pay on Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to be visited by my good friend Ian, living in the Philippines, and his wife, and we should have a pleasant lunch and evening, and I have a feeling he might stay overnight, but his cat has got kittens, so he might be running home to make sure they're okay. He's like an expectant father, even though they're already born, but that's his decision. The idea is if he stayed overnight here, he could go home sober in the morning, whereas he'll have to be a bit more sober if he was to go and drive home tomorrow night. So All things being equal, we hope you had a lovely day and that your day will continue and that you'll have a safe drive wherever you're driving. And actually, Manila isn't that bad to drive. You have to be very cautious, very actively paying attention. But generally speaking, I don't see it any worse than driving around any other big city around the world. It's just, as always, chaotic. So, bye for now. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. Bye now.